Good morning. We know this is the highlight of your year. Some people like the Oscars, some people like the Super Bowl. We know prior reps love the rep webinar. So this is our 2021 annual rep webinar. I'm Nick Manning. I'm the president of Prior. If I don't know you, welcome. We're excited to have you here. We're excited to tell you a little bit about where we've been, where we're going, how we're going to get there. You can see on the screen is some pictures of some of our great people. We're going to learn more about those people as we get through the webinar today. So thank you. My job is to tell you about the state of Prior, what's going on with Prior. We'll get to that in a moment. I'm going to introduce the team here. First is our executive team. You guys know most of these guys. They represent all the different divisions of Prior. So Joe Poskin is our CEO. You'll hear from Joe in a few moments. Myself, Bryce Williams is our CFO. Bryce is brand new with us, so we're just teaching him how water runs downhill, but he's sharp. He'll get it. Scott Brady is our R&D manager. You know Scott. Brady Poskin is our manufacturing manager. You know Brady. And then, of course, Matt Lemke is our vice president of sales and marketing. You'll see him. You know him, too. The G&A team, Bryce leads the G&A team. And with him is Cindy Coates. She's our controller. You know Cindy. Karen Delicio is in charge of all of our human resources. Pam Williams is our accounts payable coordinator, and our staff accountant is Melinda Heston. So here we go, the state of Prior. They wanted me to tell you about the state of Prior. But first, there's a question or a chat thing. If you've got any questions throughout the process, go ahead and enter your questions there. We'll answer them at the end. I'm sure there'll probably be common questions, so we'll probably group those for the effort of saving time. So as I get into it, this is a picture of one of our facilities here at Prior. This building faces east, so that's the sun rising on Prior. I thought that was appropriate because the sun is rising on Prior with all the great things that we're doing here. So where we've been, where we're headed, how we'll get there. Where we've been, 2020. Wow. You know, 2020 was an interesting year. We learned a lot. As I was telling somebody yesterday, I don't think I'd stand in line to do it again, but we certainly learned a lot. COVID, you guys heard of that, right? COVID affected us as it affected all of us. You know, our workforce, though, was mostly unaffected by COVID until May. And then once May kicked around, well, it was affected. We caught some cases and we shut down the business and brought in a service and tested every associate that we have. So after 85 some odd negative tests, we were very surprised that everybody was negative. We had the business shut down for a couple of days. We deep cleaned everything and got everybody back in the business. You know, as an essential workforce, it was imperative that we got going. From the very beginning of this, our priority was to stay safe as always, but to keep our employees working and paid, and we managed to do that through the whole process. It certainly increased our communication, not face-to-face. We thought we've always done a good job at that as we had to stop all company meetings, but we communicated daily with all of our associates with any updates, anything like that. And everybody got to know the quote-unquote prior rules, because prior rules were talked about every day: wearing masks, social distancing, washing your hands 78 times a day. That was all very important to us, and we think that that's kept us safe through the rest of it. We got behind, So we made the decision in March that we were going to pull back a little bit in April and May. With COVID coming on, we obviously didn't know what would happen. And then April rolled around and we were 35% below our first quarter growth pace. So we thought, boy, that was the right decision. However, May came around and we had our best month ever in May. So we got through May mostly unscathed, but then beyond that, we slowed down. We slowed down as you knew it. And quite frankly, we never recovered until about a month ago. You know, we certainly learned lessons from it. We learned about communication with you, communication with our customers, and how we need to do an even better job at that. The other thing that COVID brought us is people were worried, you know, between the health of themselves and their family, the stress that brought on, and the fact that we were behind a little bit. There was a lot of stress in our business, and that stress, you know, turned itself into attendance. So that didn't help. When your attendance on the plant floor is lower than it normally is, That didn't help either. So we did other things to encourage people to come to work and work at PRIER. And mostly they were successful, and we're through it. And Brady will tell you about some of the stuff that we're changing moving forward from the manufacturing side. So we finished the year with our largest sales year ever. It was fun. We didn't anticipate people would want to change freezeless hydrants over a pandemic, but here we are. We'll learn that lesson for the next pandemic. We're in a position to continue reinvesting in ourselves, which you'll hear about as we go through it. And then, each department will tell you about how we're headed toward. Where we're headed? Well, certainly, as always, the safety of our people is first and foremost. That's the most important thing to us. We want people to go home in better shape than they arrived at PRIER at. We're in the continuous improvement business. If you guys have heard me, you've heard this before. Certainly all the associates at PRIER have heard it. We had our best year ever. That's great. The question to Matt and the sales team is, how are we going to do better? We had our best output year in a lot of places in the PRIER plant. That's great. High five. Awesome. How are we going to do better? Our people work hard. We don't necessarily need them to work any harder, but we need to be smarter about what we do. We need to invest in automation and those kind of things. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to grow top line sales with profitable growth. We're not going to grow unprofitably. That's not going to work for us. We're going to improve efficiency, and we're going to improve quality. You'll hear about all those things. We're going to continue to grow the commercial side of our business. Our market share in the commercial hydrant business is negligible. And that is certainly our big growth opportunity. And of course, from your perspective, we pay 10% commission on that, which is double the residential stuff. So it behooves you to go ahead and sell those products. We're investing in stronger rep and customer reporting. So we've got more current information from a regional sales manager and a vice president standpoint that they can feed down to you, getting you current information on sales growth and individual customers, where they are for the year, that kind of thing. And then how we're going to get there. Well, how we're going to get there, as I've said in the beginning, we've built a great leadership team, and they're going to drive us to get to those places. We're going to continuing to reinvest in ourselves, and we're going to continue to ask ourselves, does this make sense for our business? And of course, if it does, we're going to do it. And then lastly, before I turn this over to R&D, I just want to thank our reps. You guys are our eyes and our ears on the street. You tell us what's going on. You know more in your markets than we'll ever know. So we rely on you to tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what we can do better. If you do those things, that's going to make us better, and we always want to get better. Again, we're in the continuous improvement business. So great. So I'm finished. You'll probably see me at the end if there's a question that I can answer. I'm going to turn this over to research and development, where you'll see Joe Poskin. Come on in, Joe.
Hey, guys. So I guess I'm going to take my mask off here, and I do not want Hagenson or Hodis or any of you guys to say, text in there and say, put your mask back on. Got that? Okay. R&D, you can see the team there. Actually, we're hiring 2 more people at present, a product manager and another design engineer. Also, just as far as the team or something kind of cool, we invested in a 3D printer so we can print our parts, get our prototypes done faster, and move into production a lot quicker. So let me move to the next screen. I don't know what I'm doing here. You can see research and development, heavy engineering, and of course I needed the marketing guy's assistant to advance the screen. All right, right there you're seeing the sanitary berry hydrant, okay? That's gonna be coming out soon. We are getting ready to send it to testing. I'm going to hold up to tell you a little bit about it. If you look at it, look at the picture with the grass on it. Notice the ground level of the hydrant. Above ground, it looks similar to any kind of hydrant. It's got a much larger handle and a much bigger sweep of the handle as you raise it up. Something unique about ours and what I want to share with you. If you look underground, see the white piping, that's PVC. You got a brass canister there, and below that also is the PVC in white. Okay, all of that is part of the hydrant, And the way I wanted to kind of show you how this works, just so you got a little bit of a feel. I am holding basically that canister and the piston that goes underneath it in that lower portion. And the whole idea behind this valve is, and the reason you have to have the diameter there, is that to take it out, you have to be able to service the whole thing. So you screw it off at the green cap at the ground level, and all the guts come out. And notice this portion of it is what is down furthest down deep in the ground. That's where the water comes in. It balances it. And I just wanted to show that that's what that looks like underneath. But the whole thing would come out, and that's how you would service the valve. What's unique about ours is that when you close it, all the water, of course, is captured in that brass canister underground. And when you open ours, and this is what's unique, as you lift that piston, or as you lift the handle, the piston pushes the water down out of the canister and drives it back up through the valve and out, which means we always guarantee the valve is emptied and the water that's been stored in there is released first. A lot of people don't do that. Most people have a Venturi system, which is a curved valve like this that has to pull the water out. You have to run the valve about 30, 40 seconds before that discharges. If you don't do that, the thing gets waterlogged. It could freeze, meaning it won't work, and it could damage the valve. Ours will never do that. Ours will always be drained. So let me figure this life out here. Which button here? Thank you. Oh yeah, so this is the roof hydrant, which is basically the exact same thing, just shortened. What you'll see, if you look at the left, my left anyway, you'll see how it fits. That's what you see above the roof. You'll see what's underneath it. As you know, our clamping system clamps to the structure of the facility, not the roof. Again, our competitors, one of the competitors clamps it onto the roof, which in effect, as you're operating the hydrant, you would in effect act almost like a can opener and tear the roof up as you're trying to use it if there's any kind of stress or strain on it. We don't do that. We clamp it to the building. And of course, the idea of this roof hydrant sanitary means that there needs to be no drain line as a result once you close it off. It'll rest down in that canister. When you open it, it discharges all that water first. This is a new valve coming out. It's an irrigation valve. You might recognize it. It looks very similar to the 634. It's also it's also similar to the 434. You can see how it's structured. The idea is that you plumb your irrigation right to that male threaded outlet, and it could actually be up or down or sideways. The plug on it on the elbow, that's for draining and also for hooking up your air to discharge the system and blow the water out at wintertime. Another new product coming out is what we refer to this certainly a commercial product. It's our narrow wall commercial hydrant. And the whole spirit of it is that inside of, say, any kind of bathroom or anywhere where you need water inside to do cleaning, this can be concealed inside of a tight wall. This was brought to us mainly through engineers that we talked to that are putting these in or putting something similar in and said, you guys do great products. Could you make us something that fits in the wall? I can put it in an airport bathroom, be able to close it. That would be awesome. And so that's what we're doing. That's what that is. And by the way, notice to the right of the handle is looks like a nut. Actually, that's a shutoff valve, so you can turn off the water to that box with that shutoff. You can't really see it maybe, but there's a key. You'd stick, but not a key, but a screwdriver or whatever, and you could turn the water off and therefore service the valve. And then we're adding to the whole small valves. These already exist, but what we're doing is, what this represents is we're putting internal vacuum breakers in those. Some jurisdictions want that. And so we said, yeah, we can do that. So that's what It looks just like the small valve. The internal vacuum breaker is going to be inside, and it's technology we've already had. It's what's been in our 434, I mean, our 144 and our 164 already. And I think, yeah, that's it. So that the next one's moving to manufacturing. But before I go, you guys have been I am such a flipping crier. Okay. You guys have been great because as Nick said, we had our best year ever. We busted our tail. We feel super blessed that we've been reasonably escaped all the COVID stuff. The few cases we had came from the outside. I pray that you guys are safe. I don't know what my problem is. I remind myself of Dick Vermeil when he was coaching the Chiefs. He used to cry all the time after games. I mean, what is my problem? I just appreciate you immensely. Thank you. So I'll turn it over to manufacturing. See you.
All right, on that light note, a lot has happened in 2020, but let's start by talking about our most valuable asset, which is our people. And I'd like to highlight some of the changes we made over the last year. As you can imagine, as we experience growth year after year, naturally, there are new opportunities and positions. So it's been really valuable and rewarding and quite frankly, fun to either promote and train internal talent or find and hire new top-level talent. So as you can see here, Ashley moved into the supply chain role, which covers forecasting, planning, scheduling, purchasing, and everything in between. It's a big, critical position that affects everything at PRIER, and she's doing a fantastic job. Next up, Carlos is a new hire. Actually, his first day is literally today. He is an industrial and systems engineer, and he also has his MBA. He comes to PRIER with decades of experience in manufacturing, and we cannot wait to utilize his expertise. Both Rob and Miguel have been promoted to production supervisors. Rob is over the Mansfield personnel, and Miguel is over the PRIER line folks. Roger, who you may recognize from last year, was promoted to the warehouse manager. His duties not only include shipping, but now managing inventory control and material handling. And finally, Beth, who you may also recognize from last year, is taking on a new role for PRIER as quality manager. I'll touch on quality in a minute, but this position manages the entire quality system at PRIER, not only quality control with checks and audits, but quality assurance with all the processes and training that come with it. Moving on. All right, let's briefly talk about planning. As Nick alluded to earlier, we purposely pumped the brakes a bit from a production standpoint when COVID hit. Now, clearly hindsight is 2020, and the correlation between staying at home and increased hydrant sales was not as obvious last March as it is today. However, I'm not here to make excuses or even blame the pandemic. We underperformed last year as it relates to getting product out the door on time. We will be better this year. We've been building like crazy to get stuff ready for the spring and beyond. You should and can expect product to ship within 8 working hours. As it relates to COVID, I do want to applaud PRIER, the manufacturing team, and especially our direct labor folks. They really were the heroes in 2020. It was not easy and still is not easy, but the people here are committed to PRIER and its customers, reps, and our entire supply chain. All things considered, I thought we handled the pandemic thoughtfully, respectfully, and effectively, and our people really rose to the challenge. All right, now on to quality. I'm very pleased to say we improved dramatically over the last year. In fact, we received 41% less defects in 2020 than we did in 2019. And with our continuous improvement mentality, we are not trying to reach some achievement destination. We are simply committed to getting better indefinitely. But here are a few key reasons for the improvements. We added a full-time quality auditor in 2020, which allowed us to check more product throughout all of the process. We also tweaked our incentive program to encourage quality issues to be identified, reported, and resolved as opposed to penalized against. And we updated and simplified our standard operating procedures so that people actually use and benefit from training with them. In addition, as you can see in that first picture on the left, that's a D seat, so a 144D or 478. And as I'm sure you know, that brass inlet is soldered inside the copper. Those little vertical lines that you see on the top of the seat are new. That machining process is called knurling. And without getting into the nitty-gritty science, those knurls make for a stronger, better solder joint. Nothing is wrong with the previous seats we used. We just found after some extensive research and experimentation, these work better. So now we're knurling all of our seats. Next up in the middle there, you can see two pictures or two pieces of copper. The one on the left has been scored and pulled apart by our new automated copper cutter. On the right is copper that has been roll cut by our manual copper cutter. It may be tough to see, but the copper on the right has a much thicker looking wall than on the left. Well, it's not thicker. That thickness is just the burr from the cut. For production to be able to insert the seat into the copper, like the tube on the right, it requires a deburring process. That process can sometimes leave chips and is not always exact, which can affect the solder joint. Again, our previous process was not wrong. It's just our new machine keeps the ID of the copper consistent throughout, which is much better. Plus, it runs unattended, which is a big bonus. And finally, on the right is just an image of us washing the seats in a water-based solution before the hydrant assembly process. This is important because it ensures that flux from the soldering process is removed. After cleaning these hydrants, some of the flux residue will not be on there after we test and pass that off to our customers. All right, on to equipment. I'm pushing my time limit here, so I'm not gonna get into the weeds here, but I will say we continue to invest in our equipment and we have some cool new machines. Our manufacturing engineering team of Vic and Trey know how to make just about anything. And if you're comfortable traveling, please come out to safely see us. We'll give you a plant tour. And if that's not in the cards yet, get vaccinated, then come out to see us. We'd love to have you, our workforce show you what we do each day. And then finally, looking for 2021, we're looking forward to a great year. You can see some of the key faces of the quality team there. This department will be a major focus again this year. In addition to this group, we are actively hiring a training coordinator so we can develop a dedicated training and skills development program, which of course will improve our finished product. Also, as Joe talked about the sanitary berry there in the middle, we're creating a separate work center for that line. And with that effort, we're going to revamp our commercial line because we have seen a tremendous growth in that area and we expect commercial sales to continue to grow. And lastly, believe it or not, we are nearing machining capacity. Our current Swiss turns are running 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, and we're about at the limit. So we're going to buy some more machines and then push to 24/7 and extend that capacity. So enough for me. Let's turn it over to sales.
Thank you, Brady. That was great. Hey, this was the largest watched rep webinar we've ever had. And with that means some people haven't been able to get in. So some of your partners, if they're saying that, that's fine. This will be recorded or is recorded, and we'll send that out afterwards so that you can, all of those people that weren't able to get in can. So just wanted to let you know that. So first of all, again, thank you. I say this every month, but you guys are rock stars. And from my travels and seeing other reps, I think we have the best reps of any manufacturer out there. So thank you for all you did for us in 2020. Just want to briefly go over our whole team. I think we have the best team out there, and you have told us that as well. So there's me upper left. Obviously, Scott's still around and talking about the Chiefs every day.
Go Chiefs!
And then obviously Angelo that has the South. Jeff, who we'll talk a little bit about marketing here in a minute. And then Brittany, who all of the things that you see, the flyers and the posts on social, a lot of that comes from Brittany. She does a great job, been with us just over a year. Cheryl's going to talk in a little bit, the customer service manager. Wendy's still here after about 13 years taking care of retail, which had a great year last year. Linda, been here almost 2 years. Angie, and then a new hire, Austri, who Cheryl will talk about in a minute. But an expanded team from even a year ago, and all designed to help you do your jobs better. So I'll get into it in a minute, but I'm going to turn it over to Jeff in marketing.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you. Boy, what a crazy, amazing, and challenging 2020 we had. I think it threw us every curveball we could imagine. We did accomplish a few things last year. One was freshening up the brand. We put more focus on our people and our products, and it's been paying dividends. And from that rep survey, we know that our brand's strong. I think 98% of you said it's stronger than it was about a year ago. So we feel like going into 21, the wind is in our sails, it's at our back, and we're going to make even more headway. The other thing we did was create consistency in all communications across the board. We've strengthened our social media presence, lots of good comments from you all regarding that. We built relationships that we hadn't had before with HGTV. We saw some great dividends from that. And all of that was intended to help soften the ground for our sales and for the work that you do out in the field. So we appreciate everything that you've done, even despite everything that was going on. For this year, we're going to build on that foundation that we had established in 2020. We're going to bring more thought leadership and education to the market. You've seen our ebook. You've seen some of the webinars that we've had with engineers. We had one yesterday in Illinois and had more than 20 engineers from large firms attend that. We have more than 1,000 leads in the past year. So reach out to Scott and Angelo, work with them on these leads. We want to turn those leads into sales. We want to keep driving those leads. So we'll do more of that this year and keep strengthening our relationships with some key accounts. We've made some great headway with AD and with iMark. And I think we're starting to see those really grow and take off. And then as you saw, those new products that Joe talked about, we got to launch those this year. So you're going to be seeing those in second quarter or third quarter, and there's going to be a lot of momentum behind that. In terms of other things that we've been working on, the catalog is getting very, very close to getting to the printer. So we had tremendous feedback from our rep teams, and we appreciate all that feedback. It was very positive. It helped us understand how you're using this. You're going to see some minor adjustments in it, some colors that help segment each section, just to help you identify that section. We streamlined the parts section in the back, so that's going to be a little bit easier to understand and find those parts. But it's going to have the same level of impact that you're used to. So look for that coming out soon. There is an online version, so make sure you take advantage of that as well as the printed version. So if you need to send it off, there's a flip version on the website. If you need cross sheets, we have cross sheets in that rep portal. So make sure you're looking at those. If you're trying to cross a product over with a Woodford, Angela spent a lot of time building those out, and they're available. So be sure to look for those in that rep portal. And when it comes to education, we're going to do more education in the coming year. You've seen some of these already, but we're going to educate those engineers, those contractors, and you on products, and so that you understand the benefits behind the products, and so that you can go out and sell those products. And so you're going to see more of that, more video content, probably more content that you can share with during that prospecting standpoint. The rep portal, it's probably your number one toolkit. So you're going to see in that you saw last year, we continue to freshen this area up. So use that. I think 95% of you are using this. That 5%, reach out to Scott and Angela. If you're not using it, there's a ton of information in this rep portal. And so it's all segmented. You can find out what's new. You can grab marketing materials. You can look at those promos that we have coming up. Speaking of promos, we have our spring promos getting ready to launch. We're going to focus on the bread and butter products that you're used to, the 164, the 144, the 400. This is a good time for those groups to stock up and build those inventory for the spring when they get hit hard. And we also want to put more focus on the 434. It's been selling extremely well, but we want to keep pushing that. It's great for those homeowners that they don't want to detach their hoses or think about maintenance in the winter. So it's great for that. It's got a nice soft grip handle, especially for people who prefer something a little nicer than what they might have. The shower, I've had several requests just this week on the shower up in the Northeast area, even up in Canada and some other areas. So it's becoming a hot item. And so we want to push that out additionally. And then you'll also see up in the very top right, the press fit. We want to keep pushing attention toward that. It's a great solution. We're seeing some good interest from that as well. You'll also, in the rep portal, you'll see an updated marketing material catalog. It has some of the new apparel items in there. Brittany did a great job freshening up some of those materials. It has those displays. We want to make sure the displays that are on those counters, that they are A quality. So if you see anything that's old, if it's yellowed, has an old vacuum breaker, let us know. We want to get the correct product in there and make sure that those look great. This year, I hope to meet each of you either in person or at least remotely and understand what some of those challenges are that you have so that we can help solve those. I'm going to turn this back over to Matt so he can talk through the sales.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Nick talked earlier about, not about effort, but about working smarter. So some of the things that are coming up that I'll talk about are really tools to help you do your job even better than how you do it. Last year, we talked about really a focus on commercial and launching our commercial products on master spec so engineers can spec PRIER easier, more often, becomes a tool for us, and for you. So we did do that back in late April, and you can see some of the metrics here. One of the things I want to point out is October, November, and December. And you saw the few months before that where commercial products were kind of stagnated. Well, they started opening up this fall, and the good news is PRIER got spec'd a lot more. That gray bar, I'm colorblind, so that lighter colored bar there talks about win percent. So of all of the valves that were spec'd, how often did PRIER get spec'd in there? So you can see October was over 70%, November was 60, and December over 60%. So great momentum for speccing PRIER through master spec. So with that commercial, let's keep the momentum going through some of those virtual meetings. Since we can't see engineers, some of them face to face, and I've heard some of them are itching to get to see you face to face. If we can't do that, we can do these virtually. So we can send them lunch, and then we can present with you all about PRIER and some of the engineer-specific topics that they might want, like decoding codes or hydrant types or stuff. And we'll be in a Q&A format for that. So I would ask you to identify those engineer groups that we can do that with and get with Angelo and Scott. Also, virtual meetings. I know we had a lot of those last year, and a lot of people are Zoomed out. So in this first quarter here, if there are new wholesalers that are coming on board or new people that are counter sales or inside sales on the wholesale team, set up a virtual meeting. We have one, I think, next week with Thomas Somerville, because they're putting PRIER, a big focus on PRIER in Pennsylvania, and we're going to do some training out there. So when we can't see them face to face, let's get those in place, especially for their new people. New reporting and more tools here. I'm not going to go into all the details of this, but you asked for, how can I see how my accounts are doing, either to last year, by category, so that I can manage those accounts better. So through Salesforce, we have developed reporting that you'll be able to get to. We're in beta testing now. It's rolling out very soon, and it'll be real-time reports as of the previous night's invoices. You'll be able to see POs in there and be able to click on that and see, like, Rundle Spence at a $1,200 PO. What did they order? You'll be able to get to that as well. You'll be able to see the account success. Like this one happens to be Ferguson by category. So Ferguson here, did $35,000 in residential and did $19,000 last year in residential. You'll also see where they're not doing well. Again, tools to help you work smarter. This platform will be available on your phone, so you can, right before you get out of your car to go into the account, you'll be able to pull all this up. And like I said, it's all real time, apples to apples to last year, so that you can manage your accounts better. I'm really excited for that for you. Some of the buying groups who had really good success with iMark this year, orders were up over 20%, but gain share members were much bigger, had better performance than members that weren't in gain share. So as you talk to iMark members, really encourage them to get into the gain share. Why would they want to do that? They have additional rebates and things that they can take advantage of. Same with AD. They have an April promo. We had really good performance in AD. And then Prior Direct, Jeff mentioned about those. And that's really all those that are outside of iMark and AD. On the wholesaler side, the national wholesalers, Ferguson had a great year, biggest year they've ever had. Their orders were up over 20. And they are focusing on Prior right after ProFlow. It's Prior. They would rather not sell Woodford. So they've increased their commercial inventory in some of their DCs. So we'll let you know where those are so we can really focus on increasing commercial pull through Ferguson DC. With strong corporate support there as well. Wind Supply had a fantastic year, over 30% increase. And again, product is stocked in all their DCs. Hajoka, which is lying in the weeds, we don't talk about them a whole lot, but their orders were up over 60%. So if you have a Hajoka in your area, that might be one that you'd focus on as well. We are looking at a spring promo for them as well. Next is customer service. So I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl, and she'll talk about some of the great things on the customer service side.
Hi, everyone. As Matt mentioned, we hired Austri last fall. She's a great addition to our team. And just like the rest of us in customer service, Austri can help with any of your requests, pricing, stock check, order status. For purchase orders, as you see on your screen, to streamline the order process, before sending in POs, please just take a quick look. Is the pricing correct? Are the ordering case quantity? Have they noted on the PO for any current promotion? Knowing this up front is going to help us reduce the number of calls back and forth to the customer. Quoting prices. If you're quoting a special net to a customer, just simply shoot us an email at orders@prier.com. That will also help us streamline the order entry process. If you have a customer who is wanting to return a product, which we discourage, just send us an email to orders@prier.com. We'll get that customer an RGA number to return that return that product, sorry. On any past due accounts, if I need your help, I'm going to be reaching out to you, especially if we have an order in-house. Doesn't happen very often, but I do appreciate any help I can get. And lastly, I just want to say we are here for you. We appreciate you. Please let us know if you need anything from us at all. And thank you for being our reps.
Great. Thanks, Cheryl. One of the things that you've given us in feedback over the years is how great our customer service team is. So Cheryl leads that team. So if you have a question, need an understanding of pricing, inventory, or anything, just reach out to that team. They're fantastic. So next, I'm going to turn it over to Scott and talk about our awards.
All right, all right. Now everybody's excited because it's Super Bowl season. Of course, we have a rooting interest around here, and Super Bowl season, no better time for awards. This year, 2020, being a little unique, we have the first award is a little bit different than it's been in the past, and that's our Impact Award. And what this award is really about are who are the reps that are making a huge impact in their territories for growth and for future development. So our first award winner this year is going to Mike Hall Sales Agency. So yeah, congratulations to Dave Hall and the Mike Hall Sales Agencies. Unfortunately, we lost Mike in May of 2020. We are super sad about that. Mike's been a great rep for us for 15 years and really has worked hard. And actually, it all showed in 2020. So at the beginning of the year, he invited me up to in February to work with him in the Dakotas to do some product training. And he even organized a top golf event. And when it was 20 degrees outside, I'm like, look at that. So you can see right there a great picture of Mike hitting the golf ball. He was a much better salesman than golfer, but what a tremendous person, and just loved by his customers and wanting to do what's best for them. So we really appreciate having Mike as a rep for us for many years. Dave, congratulations. We'll be sending you this, and really appreciate all that you and your dad have done for us for many years. So that's the first one. The second one, I'm going to turn over to Angelo.
All right, thank you, Scott. Congratulations, Hall Sales. You know, like Scott said, it was kind of an unusual year. Typically, we only have one Impact Award winner, but obviously, we want to salute Hall Sales and all their efforts. But another organization that did amazing, KM Sales. So KM Sales had an amazing year in 2020. We actually had them grow 56% in 2020, which is just amazing. It was actually one of our top growth accounts. They surpassed their aggressive goal that we had for them in 2020. They actually blew that out of the water by 136%. And guys, if we need to ever tell you guys that converting from Woodford is possible, look at this agency. They are based in Colorado. They're covering the Wyoming, Montana. This is Woodford's backyard, and they are taking shares away from Woodford every single day. They focus heavy on the contractor side, and they are forcing the pull through. So they, of course, have a lot of wholesalers, you know, always on the fence if they want to switch. And, you know, KM says, you know, let's just go after the contractor. They're going to buy it if the contractor wants it. So we applaud you for that. And 2021, I think, is going to be just as good. I'd actually assume it'll be even better. We have a very big opportunity focused on the Ferguson side that we believe is going to add some big dividends for KM Sales. So KM Sales, congratulations. Thanks for having such an amazing impact in your market in 2020. So the next thing we want to talk about is our President's Club Awards. This is for 3 rep agencies, and this is actually based off a weighted average of 3 different metrics. So we actually look at overall sales, we look at percentage of goal that we set in the beginning of the year, and we also look at growth over the previous year. We take those 3 metrics and we can find a weighted average. We rank them for the top 4. We award the first one for a special award that we'll save to the end, but the following 3 fall into the President's Club. And this year, our first winner is PSI. So PSI is actually represented by Jimmy, Tommy, Kathy, and Jim. They actually are representing Oklahoma and Arkansas for PRIER products. In fact, PSI is one of our, actually, they are the oldest manufacturer's rep for PRIER, currently going on approximately 70 years. Of course, going back that far, it's hard to know the exact timeline, but we actually believe that they were the 3rd manufacturer rep that PRIER ever hired on, and they have been putting in their work for those many, many years. In fact, Jimmy would tell you that, and Jim's dad, Jimmy's grandfather, actually helped PRIER in those early years, help build that very first frost-proof wall hydrant. So they've had a hand in PRIER for many, many years, did amazing in 2020. They were able to grow by $175,000. That's up 32% over their goal, knocking on that $1 million mark. They were only 25K short this year, which I know 2021, they're going to surpass that. And we can contribute that to many things. You know, Jimmy and Tommy, they put in a lot of time in the field. Jimmy, actually, if you look over in the corner there, you'll see he brought a handful of customers up, obviously, early in the year before everything went south on us. But he brought some groups in. We did factory tours. We did some axe throwing. You can see him and Nick there. I know it's scary to think sometimes letting people go loose with axes, but we had a great time and a lot of successes. They have put the time and the effort in, and we thank them very, very much. Congratulations, PSI. I'm going to turn it back over to Scott to present the rest.
All right, all right. Our next winner of the President's Award goes to Spike Lingle. Congratulations, Legal Company. Well done, Spike and John King. You guys are killing it up there in Eastern New England. So this two-man agency, you know, they grew FW Web over 100 grand. They were #1 in the True Temp sales. And then they had 75 wholesalers with 15% or better growth. So that's just tremendous. What's most remarkable, there's just 2 of them, and they really are working and getting it done. So they're making an impact too. Congratulations, Spike and John. The next award winner goes to NORPAC. So yeah, so congratulations, Tom, Brian, Ryan, and all the NORPAC team. We, you guys still had our largest overall volume, and you were actually effectively managed a warehouse through our product shortages, and that was great. The other thing that I love seeing from you guys is the commercial growth. They are growing 5-fold over the last 5 years and see tremendous potential for the future. So those are our 3 fantastic presidential award winners. That was PSI, Spike Lingle Company, and NORPAC. Now, to get to the last one. So we're getting to the Super Bowl, and that's the Dick Hodis Rep of the Year. So that's the best of the best as far as growth and overall sales. And for this year's winner is new to the game, and that would be Hart Travers and Associates. Congratulations, Reggie, Chris, Tiffany, Sean, everybody. Now you know. All right. Well, they had a rough year in football in the Chicagoland. They were killing it in the plumbing sales. So way to go. They grew by $264,000 in the last year. They made it over the $1 million mark for the first time. Their Ace retail business grew by 38%. 39 of their customers grew by 15%. Tremendous. All this without being able to go and see these guys face to face. So all of it in the pandemic. Everybody knows the struggles there. The other thing that they did is they started off the year very strong with a promotion with Ferguson. So it was the Illinois branches against the Wisconsin branches, and they were stoking each, and they got some competitive fire going, and it generated $66,000 in February and March. So some tremendous sales early in the year from Ferguson. So congratulations, Hart Travers. You guys are PRIER's Rep of the Year. I can't wait to work with you. And I'll be up there as soon as you let me. Now, that's the end of the awards, and I'm going to turn it back over to Matt.
All righty. Thank you. And congratulations, everybody that won. You know, it's kind of our Super Bowl, if you will, and it looks forward looks forward to next year as well. So we hope everything here was beneficial for you. If you have questions or anything like that, please reach out. One question that we did get during the webinar here is, so when are all these new items going to come out? So I'm going to go run down those right now. So on the sanitary berry and the roof hydrant.
Whoa. We can't be talking about dates. We can't be talking about dates, gentlemen and ladies. We can't be talking about dates. But just suffice it to say, we're going to bust our tail to get them out in 2021. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be talking about dates. It's R&D. You can't be talking about dates. All right, Matt.
All right.
Good thing I was close.
Well, there you are. You've gotten your answer. So those, any other questions, like I said, please reach out to Scott, Angelo, or myself, and we can handle those. Again, thank you for a great 2020. Like Nick said, I don't know if we'd sign up for it again, but you know, we all stuck together. I think he gave us high marks for communication. We'll do even better this year. Our on time and in full is still our standard of 8 working hours. And I thought Brady did a really good job of telling you what are the quality things that we're attacking, and then also how we're going to get product out the door even better this year. From the marketing side, Jeff did a great job of laying out how they're building the brand to give you tools to help you with your customers. And from the customer service side, some pointers to make things a little bit easier as well to flow through. From the sales side, we just appreciate everything you do. We are looking forward to getting out and traveling with you again. I know my wife is hoping that I'll get out of the house a little bit more this year. And I know Angelo and Scott's are as well. So we can't wait to get out and meet with you to help you do your job that you've done so well for us in the past. So thank you again. Let's have a great 2021.
Yeah, go Chiefs.
I'm coming back on the dates. Okay. Here's what I will say. When we're closing in on dates to release something, I promise you we'll let you know so you have plenty of time to launch efforts to move forward to market. I will say on the sanitary berry, it's close to sending it off for testing, which means it's got to get all the code approvals. So once that takes place, that takes several weeks, unfortunately. But once that's launched and we know that that testing is going on, we will holler at you like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And that's all I'll say as far as that one. And the rest of them are coming later. Thanks. And are we done?
Yeah.
Hey, so hopefully I'm not weeping now. Again, thank you. We are a mission-driven business, and you guys help us live that mission every day. Thank you for being our mouthpiece, our eyes, our ears, our hands in the marketplace. Let's continue to build the kingdom. That'd be Chiefs Kingdom, the Prior Kingdom, but the big dog's kingdom. That's our chairman of the board. Thank you.